Listen, just to act as a segue, we know right now that President Ruto has signed the Division of Revenue Act 2024 into law. And even as he has done that, the question also that arises is on the issue of the road levy. The ongoing battles over who controls road funding and how it's spent rages on. Homa Bay Town MP Peter Kaluma has tabled the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill 2025, a proposal that could fundamentally reshape the country's transport landscape. The bill seeks to give counties a guaranteed 5% share of the road maintenance levy fund, reclassifying all public roads into national trunk and county categories and impose strict oversight on how funds are used. It also takes aim at political branding of roads, with fines and jail terms for unauthorized signs. Supporters call it a step towards equity and accountability. Critics warn it could spark new tough wars between the national and the county government. Of course, this week is all about the devolution and the devolution conference, big wins with the Division of Revenue Act 2025 that the president pronounced, a huge eye-popping figure as far as that revenue is concerned. And we continue apace with the conversation with our panelists here. I'm holding court just to remind you, if you're joining us this evening with Dr. Makale Mulu, who is a Member of Parliament, Kitui Central. Also, we do have with us Shabil Shakir, who is a Member of Parliament, Kisumu East. Also, we are holding court with Dr. John Mutunga, who is a Member of Parliament of Tigania West, and also Anthony Kibagendi, who is a Member of Parliament, Kitutu Churches South. Thank you so much for staying with us, gentlemen, and maybe just to hear the voice of Anthony Kibagendi as well. You were missing in action when we started, and we began the conversation on around the issue of what the president has said, that the parliament is a corruption center. I don't know, what will be your view, indicting some of, the chairman that we do have here of these committees. We have Dr. Mutunga and also Dr. Makale Mulu. So I don't know what will be your sentiment or what will be your view in that regard.
Thank you, Dibal, for inviting me, for having me here. It is my first time in TV 47.
Oh.
I'm indeed thrilled to be here. And secondly, when the president said whatever he said, it is the case of a skunk calling the pig stinky. The executive is the most corrupt arm of government, and particularly State House and their associates. The president's assault on Parliament from when we were elected has been out here for everyone to see. When we had a functional opposition, the president went on rampage, buying literally members of Parliament from the opposition, members from ODM, from Wiper, and the various other parties that were in the opposition or in the minority side. Mm-hmm. So when the president comes or goes on to call Parliament corrupt, he needs to first look in the mirror. Mr. President, look in the mirror. It's very unfortunate. We have a president who thinks he can continue to incite Kenyans against certain arms of government, yet really he is the problem. We know what he has been doing all along. While indeed we have a problem with the 13th Parliament, I genuinely feel terrible serving in this Parliament because had it not been the investment one puts in to be elected, it is a monumental embarrassment to Kenyans, because look at the bills we have passed, bills that are influenced by State House, by the president, from the housing levy, issues to do with SHA, issues to do with the finance bills that we've had. The president knows what he is doing with the members of Parliament, particularly those that worship him. It is unfortunate that the president had to say that in public, because he is embarrassing himself. Mm-hmm. Kenyans know him, and they know what he has been doing with members of Parliament, particularly those from Kenya Kwanza, and the few he has recently purchased from what I can call the former functional opposition.
Mm-hmm. Right, but Director, if you may just pick up the editorial cartoon that we have here, maybe just to act as a segue there, you have it, the 2027 and the empowerment. You can see a pile of wad of cash, and everyone is gagging for this cash that is being, thrown about. The Gen Zs, we had the youth coming out in force at State House, and received goodies. So in light of that, people are questioning, where is all this money coming from for the empowerment? Dr. Makalimulu, you are in the Budget and Appropriation Committee. Has this empowerment fund also been, factored in when it comes to the empowerment program that we do have? But let me just hear from Dr. Mutunga before I come to you. So when we're talking about who's corrupt, can we say also this, the empowerment fund is a corruption center?
Oh, yes.
Bribery.
Very much.
I don't think there's any fund called Empowerment Fund, first of all, for the records. I don't think there's any fund anywhere called Empowerment Fund.
Exactly. So where is
I also don't think it is in the budget. It's not in any budget. And probably my colleagues can tell us which line item or which vote end has been used to support, or rather fund the empowerment programs that have been going on. Mm-hmm. What I know is that from history, we've grown from the harambee concept. Mm-hmm. We've been fundraising across the board. All along, we've been fundraising. It all very much depends on who is fundraising and for what particular function. One thing that was seen on this bench...
But we've not been seeing this fundraising happening, so that we know, okay, there's this tidy sum of money that has been collected from this particular region that is being distributed in this particular region. All we can see is the gunnies and carrying sacks of, carrying wad of cash that is being distributed. So when you say there are harambees, where can you kindly confirmably tell us that this is where we had a harambee that was raised to help this particular community in this particular region?
It's just that this is the first time we're asking where is money for harambee coming from. And we've had harambees all along. And I mean, from the time we started with Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, I think he is the first person to start on the harambees. And the harambees have been going on all along. So what I was asking is, which vote can we point at and say this is a vote that is being raided? None. If there is any, let's hear on the national TV. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I don't think anyone, apart from probably those who want to basically drive a wedge between the empowerment aspect and bringing politics into this, the people are not complaining that they are getting money. And harambee has been there. Secondly, wherever there has been this empowerment rallies, and it's not only in one region, it's all over the country, we have seen many individuals do the harambees. Personally, I've done harambees in my own constituency. Last weekend, I had a harambee in my own constituency, and I contributed my own money. And I also invited others, and they assisted me. But this was a harambee, not necessarily this, the empowerment. So there is nothing wrong with empowerment. You can use many means to support a people. People need money. There is nobody who doesn't know that Kenyans...
Yes, but is harambee being used as a fig leaf, maybe as a conduit as well?
Conduit for what? To do what?
To perpetrate and to make corruption really thrive at the end of the day. Because where is this money really coming from?
I would like to see where we are reading corruption in this, because I am saying that why don't we then ban harambee as a country, so that we can say if that is promoting corruption, are we saying that harambee is corruption?
I think
we have philanthropists who are even international philanthropists giving us money. The Ford Foundation, and other foundations are there, and they continue to look for money from all over and bring it to our people. And we embrace
There's an accountability trail with that.
Even this one, if you follow it very carefully, you will see there is an accountability trail.
Which empowerment? Surely.
That's what we were questioning. If you're privy to that particular accountability,
what I know is that
we'll be happy to know.
What I know is that I've held a function in my own constituency, and we raised funds for the motorcycle riders. And this money was raised by many people, including my own self. The money that I contributed was for my own self and my friends. And I know what I was given by my friends is clean money. So where does it become corruption?
All right. If we hack back to, I think in mid-2000, we had Oro Ojode, who was Assistant Minister of Interior. They were discouraging, the spirit of harambee, because what we're just discussing today was also very thriving in that particular epoch of time. And we were against the spirit of harambee, which is a good salutary spirit, but now is being abused. If you may refresh your memory, and you can refresh your memory, what was actually the main contestation with harambee then, Dr. Makalima?
You know, if you look at the history of Kenya, and mostly the time of our first president, President Kenyatta, the Mzee, the harambee spirit was pulling together so that we do development. But during the time of Moi, it went overboard and it was abused. And I'm surprised that Mutunga is trying to justify some of these harambees.
He wants his job.
Because the truth of the matter is
he wants his job.
Even in Parliament. Even in Parliament.
No, that's not the point. It's
absolutely.
That is besides the point.
Even in Parliament, even in Parliament, there has been a number of attempts to legislate against harambee. You know, a number of members have actually had a number of attempts. But what we are saying is, harambee, if done in a very open way, is a good way of raising resources. And it has helped many Kenyans. Kenyans do conduct harambees for health issues, conduct harambees to construct schools. But if you look at the way it is conducted, it's modesty. What we are seeing, this thing called empowerment, and I'm sorry to use the word empowerment, because as an economist, we are abusing that terminology. You know, people go out there. What is happening is leaders are taking this opportunity to empower themselves and leave our poor Kenyans suffering. How can you talk about economic empowerment in a situation where you give somebody 68 shillings, others are sharing getting that 4 shillings? What kind of empowerment is this? And this we are saying, actually I agree with what Honorable Kibagaja said. President Ruto needs to take a mirror and look at himself and reflect what he has done to the 13th Parliament and apologize to Kenyans for what he said today. Because he knows it.
He knows it.
He knows it himself. He's the initiator of all this debate we have here. Immediately while voted in, he went on a buying spree to get the speakership. And since that time, it has never stopped. So when he says that Parliament, it's like you are in the streets, you are a thief, I've stolen Mutunga's shirt, and I go shouting, Kibageti is a thief. Yes. It's very wrong.
But what stops you as legislators to question this empowerment fund, so to speak? I know Dr. Mutunga is saying there's nothing like empowerment.
I sit in the budget committee.
You've not raised it on the floor of the House.
I sit in the budget committee. We've raised it, but who listens? The thing is, in the budget, if you look at the Kenyan budget today, there's nothing, and that's why we are saying, if we really want to help Kenyans, can we come up with the programs which go to the budget so that we empower Kenyans? But what is happening is, there is a vote called confidential vote in this country, which is in various offices. This vote is never audited by anybody. So it is zero accountability. And this is in most cases, this is the money used to do all these funny things we see in this country. People go, it's like you
so this is coming from the confidential account?
No. Don't be surprised if it's coming from, I'm not confirmed, but because I have no evidence. But don't be surprised. But remember at one point, Deputy President, the immediate Deputy President, the former now, he said there's a whole container somewhere in this country where people go and poke their hands in and come out with the money. This, I think, has been said by Kenyans.
A whole container?
I've never been to the State House since the 13th Parliament personally. I've never stepped in that State House. So I would be cheating if I say I know it. But people who have lived there, like a former Deputy President, I've said there is a whole container where money is picked and is given. There's money being used to do all this rubbish you are calling corruption. Let's call a spade a spade.
Just to weigh in on this, you know, I want to also remind my colleagues. The Auditor General has said time and again, 14 billion, 9 billion, 20 billion is lost through the e-citizen system. Where do you think that money goes? Look here, we budget for capitation money to schools. Do schools get the capitation money? They don't. Universities and TVETs are struggling. They do not get capitation money. Where do you think this money goes? This is the money Kenya Kwanza, because they lack ideas, they lack creativity, they steal this money, then use it to go and bribe Kenyans. And I want to tell you today, I know the chairman here is burning to say something. That is the money that is being used to bribe Kenyans through the empowerment programs. And I want to tell you this, like in my region, we have banned the empowerment programs going forward, unless they're bringing for us motorbikes, posho mills, vehicles, tuk-tuks, car wash machines, and stuff like that. And we told our people, if they come there bribing you with 1,000 shillings, 100 shillings, 50 shillings, make sure their choppers and their vehicles don't live there, so that we also get to feel how the rest of Kenya feels. Because what they are doing in our area is, the Member of Parliament hosting, particularly the women reps that are used in the region, they lie that they have 70 groups that are supposed to be benefiting from this fund. Then they are given from State House 20 million shillings. This 20 million shillings is shared amongst the members of Parliament that are coming to support. Then the Deputy President has his amount that he gives of about 2 million shillings, and one that he has been sent by the President, about 3 million shillings. 5 million shillings. And then it is shared amongst the 10, 15 other members of Parliament that are in that gang. They go on to raise, let's say, 10 to 12 million shillings. Then these members of Parliament, particularly for my region, I know, like now the women reps in that region, they go and lie that they have 70 groups that should benefit from that amount, yet they don't publicize, they don't send it, they don't put it anywhere. They go on to give just 40 groups. The rest of the amount is shared, is taken back. And that is what they do. That is the truth. Where do they get this money if it is not in the budget? And how come? I'm disappointed with my chairman here.
Please allow me to say
when he says that this harambee spirit, you'll speak, Mr. Chairman. I know this hurts you because it is the truth. I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth. Look here. And I want to tell the chairman here, because they've been accustomed with the pandemic of lies, he's feeling angry because I'm saying the truth. Look here. When they go out with this money that they used to bribe voters, they don't realize, Dibal, even yourself probably don't know, that the Kenyan voter has moved on. The Kenyan voter has evolved. That is why they went to State House the other day, they picked motorbikes, they picked PA systems, they picked all these things. They were given 2,000 shillings, including some of my nephews and nieces who were called there by some MCAs. And I want to tell you, they left that place singing the same song that every Kenyan is singing one term. That is what happens. It is happening everywhere. The Kenyan voter has evolved. He has moved on. But we, the politicians, still think we can continue bribing them and playing with them with money that has been collected as taxes that is supposed to help them get affordable and accessible healthcare, schools to get capitation. Teachers are suffering, head teachers are suffering with debts. Yeah? I sit in the PIC committee. There is no institution that is not in debt in Kenya. You know that? We cannot, and when you ask them questions, like Chairman here, they will point you to shiny things that they have done, where they get commissions. Either it is a stadium, they'll point you to some road, because that is what they focus the money on. They get commissions from that. And I want to tell you, Chairman, and those people that are surrogates of the President, it is high time you realize that Kenyans no longer believe in all these things. They've realized ni wakati wa kukula, wacha walete hizo vitu tukule. But what you are saying, stop discriminating Kenyans. If you're doing empowerment in Kapseret and you're giving people motorbikes and tuk-tuks and posho mills and car wash machines and tanks, do the same in Kisii. If you're doing that in Nairobi, in State House, giving out people machines to do business, do the same in Nyamira. If you're doing that in Nairobi, do the same in Kitui. Stop discriminating Kenyans. That is what we are saying. And wherever you're getting that money from, just ensure schools also get capitation in full, ensure the health sector is working.
Thank you.
And ensure other programs actually run government.
Dr. Mutunga, you're staying at the least to say, to
please,
respond.
let me say this. It is very important for us to be held to account for some of the utterances you are making here. Somebody, my friend here, says that money meant for capitation is the one that is going through empowerment.
Where do you get the money?
Capitation has always been the way it is right now. See, even in the previous government, it was around 16,900. Even then, for several years. So it is not, there was no empowerment then. And again, my friend here says it could be from the confidential vote. I would be very happy if it is coming from the confidential vote, because those who have sat in those positions have made themselves super rich. This money is reaching Kenyans now. Why not? Then the other issue is, my friend tries to mix himself up by double speaking. First of all, he says he has never been to any empowerment program, so he can't speak to it. He does not know. But then he tries to show to explain to Kenyans how it happens. So that is a blatant lie, because he does not know what happens. I have never been to 2 or 3 functions myself, 3 to be very precise. I have never received a coin to give. That is myself. I've never received any money to give. It depends on whether you ask for money yourself. I have never. Bring it here. Let me bring it up.
You get the Bible.
I have never received money to give.
Sometimes.
We have a chorus of opposition.
Okay. Let Dr. Mutunga.
We should be given a chance to adjudicate our point with a lot of respect, Shabir.
I have not had the time to say.
Let him have his
He has had more than enough time to say all these things.
No. Why don't you want me to finish my point? But all of you are speaking from one side. I need time to respond.
We will show you where you are wrong.
But wait for your time to show.
All right, can I
finish?
Let him finish. Let him finish.
He will not finish before 11.
Now, my friend here says, he says that if empowerment is coming in terms of motorbikes and others, I accept it. But if it comes in form of money,
no, we are saying
what is he talking about?
Even if it's in money or motorbikes, do not discriminate other
if it is no
parts of the
empowerment, there should
country.
be no empowerment. So he actually recognizes this is empowerment.
It is theft and bribery.
Cash can also be used to buy those things in a different way. If you go to a women group whose total borrowing capacity is 30,000, and you enhance that kitty by 20,000, it becomes 50,000. These are empowered people. So what are we talking about here? We are just trying to vilify a very important point.
I think you need to give me
I want to remind Mutunga.
I think you need to give me
He is a PhD holder.
And very analytical.
As he speaks.
Nobody has broken my record in KU.
Remember that.
Let me tell you that. My record in KU stands today. Nobody has broken it.
When he talks about economic empowerment,
record on what?
I did my PhD in 3 years.
Let him talk.
3 years, 3 months.
Okay. Let Shakil continue, then we'll come to you.
I want to ask you one thing. Which committees are the ones people ask for the most? There is literally blood spilt. Roads, agriculture, budget, finance, Health. Which are the other ones? Broadcasting, catering committee. These, and I will promise you, and you know that I can even promise you, and I can show you.
Bring it up.
Bring it up. You see, if you want to, you can say what you want, but let me tell you one thing. When you come to empowerment, I have seen him. This is a fact, and I'll tell you. You are called so and so, come to this empowerment. You will be given transport. Unafika pale.
If you don't have transport at your
No, listen to me. You have talked so much. Just because you have one PhD, I have 4 degrees, my friend. More than you. Now please listen to me.
I did say that.
No, you
he
did.
said it because he recognizes and knows.
Because what he's saying is it doesn't fit that expectation.
No, you see the situation is this. This is a fact. You're told, come, we're going to give you transportation. Then when you come and sit down there, How come everybody gives 100,000 shillings? You notice next time, everybody gives 100,000 shillings. 100!
Give what I have.
Because you look, you can talk what you want. You've had a lot of time. You're a second termer, Bon. I'm fourth termer. No, it's not okay. Yeah. You must understand
Depends
certain
on the levels
things.
of exposure.
Certain things you must understand. And if you want to admit, your agriculture committee is a money maker.
How?
Oh yes, how? Whether it's sugar, whether it's fertilizer, whether it's giving rice
subsidies to the committee members. We would like you to prove that. We would like you to prove that.
Chair,
I would be very happy.
Chair, if I were the president and I'm advising the president as the chairman of APNAC and African Parliamentarians Against Corruption, and we are recognized throughout the world. Chairman, May Excellency the President, I'm looking at you. You may feel that you want to stop corruption. Take the first step. Get rid of all these committee chairs, all of them. Yeah, I'm not one. Get rid of all of them. And then also inform your ministers, you shall not give any inducement.
So you should not just leave it at pronouncing that you have chairman or the committees which are being bribed. So you should reshuffle. The entire.
No, you should be the first one to resign, my friend. Why don't you?
If you can prove, Shabir, if you can prove today anything that I do has never been through influence,
listen to me.
I'm ready and willing to resign.
Already
you seem to be having confirmable facts regarding
let him give us the facts.
The affairs of the agriculture committee.
Yes.
Do you have any?
Yes.
Do you have any that you can table on this particular show?
We did when it to the fertilizer. We did when we talked about the maize.
So how did the committee benefit from fertilizer, Mr. Shabir?
Where did you table it?
Excuse me. Let Shabir tell us how the members of the committee benefited from the fertilizer saga, or from the sugar, or from the rice. Please tell us.
Okay, let me tell you one.
Yeah, tell us.
When our president was the Minister of Agriculture, there was a maize scandal, remember? People were told that they were going to be given flour and maize, so everybody got and bought a posho meal. All members of parliament, everybody else, they bought a posho meal.
Like I have a posho meal now.
You bought a posho meal, and then you were called to the Ministry of Agriculture, and you were given a handwritten note that you are going to take so much maize. As you walked out, and this I know, there were these millers, all of these big millers. They're sitting there. Okay, later you note. You give him the note. He says, go in the car there. And it's your thing. You pick your stuff. Oh. And that was happening. It happened. And one member of parliament, I know for a fact. And then I asked her. She literally admitted it. But the situation is kama sisi panakula nani takula. Our situation is very clear.
So
you are the president of this country, President Ruto. We respect you. Respect the system. Respect the judiciary. Respect the legislature. Respect the executive. It cannot be that the executive is clean and the legislature is dirty and the judiciary is dirty. You are the executive is the one that moves with the money. Judiciary doesn't have money. Legislature does not have money. We don't have money. You as the executive can walk into wherever and you're given money in your budget.
So it's a serious, state of affairs.
So we are saying, President Ruto, do what Duterte did. And I will vote for you. Duterte of Philippines. He started throwing people. I don't want to say the president should throw people out of the helicopter, but the president should do what Uhuru tried to do initially. President Uhuru. I was such a proud man that day. But then, thereafter, it went back. So, President Ruto.
Thank you.
You are there
at devolution.
Thank you.
You are there for devolution.
Yes.
1 minute. Let me finish, please, if you can allow me.
You need to finish so that we can actually give equal time to everyone.
How much, my person I know very well, Mudavadi. My brother Mudavadi went to Western Kenya the other day, 3 helicopters, convoy of vehicles, to open a tap.
A tap?
Tap, water supply. And of course, I think Moody Awori Secondary School or something. 3 helicopters. And then now you're talking about this devolution conference. Every governor has 3 helicopters. They are going there. You know, this is the extreme. And you know, God brings what is called hubris. Before a fall, you will pay. What we are doing, we're going around showing
the opulence.
20 million shilling watches.
Thank you.
10 million shilling shoes.
Thank you. Honorable Makali, you wanted to respond before
actually, what I want to say is that, you know, when you listen to Honorable Shakil and the Mutunga talk, some of the things you are saying are the truth. You know, he works closely with the broad-based government. These are broad-basers, you know.
No. Let me correct you. I'm an independent member of parliament. I am the only independent member of parliament in the Kenyan government. At this moment in time in parliament, there were 12 of us. 10 of us went to KK. 1 went to ODM. I am the only one who's independent. I am not a broad-based.
This is independent ODM.
Oh yes, no. We say we are independent.
He's teaming with ODM.
I will say,
so when he speaks,
why can't I say I'm independently
I'm
ODM?
just telling
no,
you.
let me tell you. When
no, let him finish. Let him finish.
I'm telling you.
When in State House, people were calling Raila Muganga, and I was there in Kisumu, the only MP who turned up there. I refused, and I even told them off. And I walked and I said to the Excellency, sir, if you please excuse me, I don't think this is an environment for me. The situation is this.
Okay.
You cannot keep blaming everybody.
So what I was saying is, what Mutunga needs to realize is that the people who attend these meetings, empowerment meetings, the ones who attended in Gitwi, the ones who attended in Gisi, are also our voters. And some of them are our strong supporters.
Yes.
And as politicians, we also have our own NIS system. so at times, Kibaget will send somebody to go and participate actively just to get the facts the way they are.
Yes.
So we are not, this is not propaganda. This is the truth, Dibao. The truth of the matter is these guys are called, they are given, as he says, 100K, you go give. And if it's 2 rallies, you get 200, you go give. This is not a secret. And that's what we are saying. When we hear that Parliament is corrupt, is demanding money, the source of the money is known where it is coming from. So it is unfortunate the source of the money is talking about Parliament being corrupt.
All right.
Because really, Parliament has no money. Me and Bageti, because we belong to the wrong side, we don't see this money at all. We survive on our small businesses and the things we do. So when we talk about it, but anyway, now let's get serious about. We want to get serious at like what Honorable Shakila said. The kind of expenditure we incur in this country, I've said many times, we behave like kings when we're actually beggars.
Yes.
So as an economy, we need to rethink the way we use our money. It is unfortunate, Dibao. The money we collect, the taxpayers' money we collect from our Kenyans,
Yes.
we use it so badly and end up borrowing while we should have not borrowed at all.
Yes.
Because when he talks about somebody using 3 helicopters to go and just open a tap, imagine 3 helicopters. If you go to Oman Bay, Dibao, today, and look at what is happening in that city called Homa Bay, if it's a city at all, you want to cry, Dibao, as a Kenyan. You want to cry. Because you say, we are talking about capitation is not there, we are talking about hospitals have no medicine, we are talking about serious things. But look at the kind of things we are doing there. Yes, these Kenyans are the people who have been planted there from other planets. Let's be serious. On a serious note, we need to get our act together as a country, and if we use our resources well, this country can go very far.
So the entire branches of government, you're talking about the executive,
Every
just listening
branch,
to you,
every
the
branch.
legislator, even the judiciary is corrupt.
Every
So
branch.
how are we able to last this pole of corruption in this country?
And we know the chief of all those. But now I wanted to rein in on what Honorable Makali Mulu has said. You know, for every event these people attend, it is not their 100,000 to give. It is the motivation is what they keep. For every event, they're given 300,000. So you give 100, you remain with 200.
Yes, some people.
And that is what the chairman has been benefiting from wherever he goes for this.
Chairman, you need to defend yourself.
I wanted to say this. If you nowadays they scramble because they can afford to hire a chopper so that they can hop from one event to the other, so that for every 3 they can do 3 events in a day. So if 5-6 people hire a chopper, they can be able to contribute and be able to pick from all these other events, so that at the end of the day they have 400,000-500,000 remaining for them to use around. But what I wanted to say is this: like my colleagues have said, and which even Honorable Mutunga will agree to, we have a lot of wastage in this government. From how we even organize our events, like the devolution conference that we have, it is what we have put in there, the return on investment is not, it doesn't match. Yeah? The president's motorcade, the president's lunches, the president's hosting, I'm told he's hosting 8,000 people from Kisii this weekend because of the Matiang'i wave in the region. So he has called people from Kisii and Nyamira to bribe them to try and undermine Matiang'i's influence in the region. He has called in people to bribe them to try and paint some of us who are telling him the truth in bad light. But I want to tell you again, the voter has evolved, Dibal. I would love to come to this show more often. Like I said, it's my first time, so that we continue educating our people that if William Ruto can put us through what he is doing right now, look at what he has done to health, destroyed, education, messed up, the economy, messed up, but he'll keep pointing you to things he wants you to see. And Harambee Stars, when he realizes every Kenyan is behind Harambee Stars, he wants to do everything to try and impress all of us. But I'm telling you, Chan is ending in a few days. We are happy. Our young people are making a kill out of this. We hope they win and actually get what has been promised. But we are still reminding him, Mr. President, look at what you promised Kenyans. If you focus on that and stop fighting those of us who are telling you the truth. Because what I'm telling you is that I'm confident enough to tell you, Mr. President, do not lie that you have sent 400,000 Kenyans to work abroad. It is a lie, blatantly. We have found out from the embassies that the people who have applied for work visas in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in the US, and do not even get to 150,000 people. Yeah? So when you come out with such utterances, with these figures, it is embarrassing. Even the housing projects that they brag about. These housing projects, there's a friend of mine who is doing some research, just like the young man used to do the Vampire Diaries. He's going to every project to find out, indeed, do we have 500,000? Because he keeps throwing numbers. 1 minute it is 50,000, the next 70,000, the next. The only truthful figure I think the president has given in terms of numbers is the 76,000 teachers that have been employed, whom some of them, it didn't go through the regular process, because if it was 76,000, divide by the sub-counties, of course it is not equal, it is equitable. My constituency would have gotten more than they have gotten. But we appreciate what we have gotten so far. So what we are saying, corruption must stop in the executive, in State House, in the ministries. They are the people who reach out probably to these members of parliament to try and bribe them. It is not a demand. It is because they have demonstrated probably that there is something that has not been done right. And this started with the president when he started purchasing, literally, members of parliament. And that is what has infected probably again, because I cannot speak about all members of parliament having been bribed, it is the infection they have gotten from State House operatives and those in the executive, and this infection is the corruption that is affecting our entire country from top to bottom, and it is affecting service delivery. William Ruto needs to look at the urgent and practical needs of Kenyans and solve those things. You cannot go borrowing against a stadium and a fuel levy where you're paying interest. You know, Dibal, it is absurd. I wonder, there are economists here like Makali Mulu that should be consulted in some of these things. It is really disturbing and embarrassing that the president can actually talk and point a finger at anyone and tell them that they are corrupt. Very unfortunate.
Right. For the yes, could we just wind up on this topic of corruption briefly so that we can actually just also discuss something else that is related to Wastage too?
When you fall out with a president like my friend here, who was a very close friend of his, and they worked together and did very many things, and he was full of praises of the president, the current president.
He hoodwinked me.
That time, so you hear.
How did
so
you,
that time, he was full of praises. He saw him as a good person. He was all speaking logic, breathing logic, everything. Right now, he's the worst man that ever lived because they fell out. So it is very important for us to be backing our figures with the facts. The president has spoken of 320,000 jobs many times.
400.
Let him give us the figures from the Housing, State Department for Housing, that he has, which is contradictory. But not big statements here saying that he said the wrong thing. If you cannot counter, you cannot bring us the counterfactuals so that now we will see
for the
you are
exported
making
labor,
a point.
Exported labor, I have told you. I have figures. I've told you the figures.
Can I have my
For exported labor, I've given. So do not.
The exported labor, I'm coming back to that. Yes. Now, this exported labor, imagine a figure of yours.
It is
can it be corroborated?
Let him have his time.
Please.
Continue.
He says that they have gone to embassies. He cited a few embassies. He didn't give us the figures for which embassy.
Let me give you the
what
figures.
Is the tally.
Let me give you the figures.
Then, he doesn't tell us what the State Department for Diaspora Affairs report says, because they have a series of recruitments, a record of those who have gone, those who are. It is very clear. It's there. So based on those statistics, we can challenge the statistics. Figures don't lie.
Absolutely.
Now, on the other hand, can I finish? Yes. You see, now when somebody is lying, they will come out, they will try to...
You are lying.
I am keeping quiet as I kept quiet as he spoke.
Actually,
now, he can't even give me time to finish.
In this panel, the person who's talking the most is you.
Now, excuse me, all of you are speaking the same language. So I need to respond to what all of you are saying. Can you protect me from Shabir? Because he also has a problem with the president. So can he give us a break?
I do not.
Could you please give us a break?
I have no problem with the president.
We came here as probably professionals and
point of order, please.
And members of parliament.
Let's have some decorum.
Can I finish?
Let me tell you one thing.
No.
Let us go to this.
I'm sorry to Bate. Can we just go sequentially? We will come to you.
No, sequentially, and give people time.
Can you just give
when you do a review of what you have had, you will have 60% of the time.
Where I have come from,
we are spending 40%.
The line I've followed all through my life.
Just let him
I respect people.
Please,
I respect people's space.
Continue.
So could I be respected?
Yes. Continue.
Now, I was just on the issue of the Harambee Stars. What is this telling us as a people and as Kenya? That motivation drives commitment. If we motivate even the younger people through a series of investment in industrialization, then there is hope for the job. We even get sharper people who will do better. So let us utilize whatever we have to create what is needed by the Kenyan of today and Kenyan of the future, so that we may build a better country, so that people can even love this country more than they are doing it. It is not President Ruto who has messed up this country. It is the previous president. They have not been particular. They have not been deliberate on job creation. They have not been deliberate on industrialization. They have not been deliberate on anything. They have been deliberate on lip service. Now, when somebody CCRC's health has collapsed, education has collapsed, everything has. What are we talking? Those are sweeping statements. There was a challenge in SHA, but is it working today? I have had 3 cases where people have been sorted out clean from my constituency by SHA. So is that success? Why are we not saying some of these good things that are happening to SHA? And it is covering everyone. NHIF used to cover only those who a different category of people, not all Kenyans. Now,
SHA
when
covers everyone who pays. Please.
But how much do you pay? It has also brought it down. Now, let me finish.
I must
There
put an
has been a
objection.
contestation.
I must put an
the
objection.
whole year. Just
I must put an objection.
Want,
if you are going to allow these people to talk,
by saying
don't call me next time,
I want to agree. I want to
don't
agree
call
with
me
my
next
friend
time
here.
because we are not having time to speak.
I want to agree, but has the time been declared gone? I mean, we can sit here until whatever time.
No, but you are talking most of the time. Even if
so if you don't want me to talk, it means I'm banning you up.
No, I'm saying, give the guy 5 minutes.
Can I finish then?
Give him 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes. And we do that in strictly 5 minutes.
Now have you gotten the time?
Okay, now finish.
By making noise, have you gotten the time?
all right.
Finish.
Can you leave your age? Can you portray your age over the others? Now, let me say this, and with a lot of respect. I do not buy the idea of opulence because it is not right. We can see it. It is not good for Kenya. It's not good for the optics. It's not good. I also do not like the idea of wastage. There's a lot of wastage. And in our government, it is not only it is across. Can we save as a country because we have a problem? Every country has scarcity of resources. Even America doesn't have enough resources that they can display everywhere. Can we have mechanisms that show clearly that we are saving? And finally, let us not become on imaginations here. Please, let's be factual. I would like, as a scientist, first of all, to deal on facts. If you say this, prove it. But don't just come as a politician and throw politics to Kenyans, try to hoodwink Kenyans to buy your version or your view of ideology. I think I respect this.
Honorable Shabir, you wanted to interject. I'll give you an opportunity now.
No, you see, you've given him 20 minutes. You're going to give me 1 minute.
What is the point here now?
No, this is where we're wrong.
No.
I don't know. I used to be on your shows and you were very fair with people. But here I'm afraid you are not. Now,
but
look, firstly,
but Honorable Shabir, if you see Honorable Mutunga is actually alone, right, against all these opposition.
It's not the truth. I'm not in opposition. Where have you got that from? Where does this gentleman think that I'm opposition?
No,
I am an independent member of parliament. And as such, we should have been recognized as that. Now, let me tell you one thing. These gentlemen, except for Mukali Mulu, who's been with me 3 terms, I've been there 4 terms. There must be something. There must be something that is bringing us back. Whatever you say, there must be something. What we are trying to tell you is this. When you must tell your king or your father, whoever it is, you must cover him if he's naked. But you must tell him that people who are telling you you are covered and you're not covered and you're going out naked. I have talked to the president personally. Let me give you certain examples. Where are we going? There was, under section 117 of the Constitution, I sat on the Constitution when we made it. The biggest regret I have is some of the issues of devolution, like the hospitals, etc. There is the power of veto by the president. Power of veto is a very restricted thing, the power of the president. We sit in parliament for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months debating something that goes to the Senate, comes back, this, that, and it is vetoed by the president. And just the other day. And we're saying, well, look, there's something wrong here. He said, no, you must bring 2/3. That's what we gave ourselves. But you must understand, even the supplementary bill, and he's an economist, is a supplementary bill only for unforeseen issues, emergencies, etc. Now a supplementary bill, first we used to have 1 supplementary bill. Now we have 3 supplementary budgets. Do you understand what I'm saying? So The president, Caesar was a very good leader, and Ruto is a good man. He has people like those who are telling him they are the worst ones, and they are putting him in a problem, like this veto on that he has done recently. It's because his ministers did not do their job. When the bill is passed now, they are running to the president and say, look, 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 this is the situation. And the president has to veto. I had to engage that veto in what we call the conflict of interest bill. These guys voted for it. We engaged the president, got the veto, because we as a country are grey listed. So what I'm trying to suggest is this: let him not tell you that I'm opposition or I'm against the president. You can ask the president yourself. We believe in what is called, he's our president of the country, pende usi pende. He has the biggest job, the most difficult job to do. You must support him. If you allow him, and you don't know, and you know, President Ruto used to tell us, you know, I was the one who used to be stopping Uhuru Kenyatta for doing A, B, and C. We don't have anybody coming to the president and saying, no, no, Excellency, let's think about this. No. Everybody wants to be a lackey. So here is the president. You're treating him like God. He doesn't know what to do. Today he's told to do this, and he goes ahead and does this. Tomorrow he's doing something else. Now, before even, okay, the Harambee stars. I'm very pleased where we are, and I'm very pleased that the government is giving the players money, and it is what we call giving them the right to work. But you know, right now there's a sports bill in Parliament. Did you read it today? The sports bill. You know what the sports bill says? If an athlete breaks the world record, he'll be given 6 million. If an athlete gets a gold medal, he'll be given 4 million. Good God. These are the world's top athletes.
Who is steamrolling this bill?
The bill?
Oh, yes.
The bill is there. It's not steamrolled. It's in the House.
Who's sponsoring it?
I can't remember. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is here, you have just started something. Now, that bill, athletes would now say, we want 100 million. And they deserve it. So the situation, as I'm saying to this country, whether like it or not, we are here till 2027. There is no way that the president will be removed before 2027. He has 2 years to correct himself. He has 2 years for others to help him. You know, I said this to His Excellency one time. There was this lion, alikuwa na kupe, lots of ticks, and he was being followed by fisi, and he was followed by wild dogs. So we felt that this poor man, this lion of ours is really a bad way. So we go and take the ticks off and try and fukusa the hyenas. And he says, no, 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 no. And this is actually a fable. It's not the truth. I mean, it's a fable. The leader that said, put the ticks back on. Caesar was one. Many others are there. So what I'm trying to suggest here, please remember and be respectful, my friend. Not only am I an independent member, I am much more senior to you in many aspects. In many aspects. But where it is a fact, I want you to show us by action. And I will take my hat off and I will say, sir, I will bow down to you. Resign from the Agricultural Committee tomorrow.
Prove that I've done anything that should make me resign.
Not proof.
Resign.
Not proof.
I want to say you are...
Let me replace you.
So that you can do what? Differently. What will you bring that is new and different?
Broadcasting.
You came to campaign for that here. This is the wrong forum.
I'm giving... Look, it's
the wrong forum because...
You're in broadcasting. What does it got to do with his resignation?
I don't know what... He has a problem with everyone.
You understand what I'm trying to say.
Okay, I'm trying to actually follow.
To say the Agricultural Committee is a very powerful committee. It gets a lot of money.
Where?
The roads
Agriculture is the 9th
roads
priority
committee,
in this
very
country,
powerful, get a lot of money. Some people even bought helicopters. So those are the ones that we need to sort out. And I think the president needs to sort all of them out and say, everybody go.
Yeah.
Yeah?
But it's a fact what he says, that some of his committees that we do have, it's...
Like the broadcasting.
Agriculture does not
it's a do or
invest
die if you actually want to be part of that committee, like the PAC, PIC as well.
Those are the ones that we...
where Honorable...
Agriculture.
Agriculture, why?
No, because they've got so many agencies, so many. They
Thank
can
you.
make.
So
Have I given you sufficient time now?
it's a big sector.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
I
have
think you've
given me
exceeded-
some
yeah,
time.
Yeah, not some time. That's sufficient. I just want us, because of
I
interest
want
of time.
I want to correct.
Are we about to
I want to.
enough time?
Yeah.
Maybe now ask that question.
On,
then I
on
answer.
television,
Because
I want to correct one thing.
we are
Oh,
enough.
yes.
Out of that.
Yes.
I want to correct us one thing.
You want
I am not in opposition. I am not in the government. But I shall support the president of this country who has been voted by people.
Thank you.
To the hilt. As long as he can understand, and no people like me can say to him, and like you can say to him, President, you are wrong here, please. And the president, if he can hear you and he is an honest man, will say, okay, now let's do this, let's do that. You cannot, and I'm going to say this for a fact. You can say anything you want about Shah. I pay, he pays, they pay. 35,000 shillings a month for Shah. When I go to hospital, Shah gives me 25,000 shillings against a bill of maybe 3 million. I'm not complaining. So
it's working.
for
are
me,
paying for that
no,
Kenya.
and
I
our
want to talk
people,
about
flies in the face about
understand
no,
it.
our
Honorable
people,
Kibageni
I
is
have
actually saying-
personally sponsored 2,000 from CDF
Okay.
and 1,000 myself from Shah. It is cheaper for me to pay somebody 6,000 shillings and be there for Shah for the whole year, because he's not going to come and ask me for money for help.
So
But
I'm
it
asking
works.
you a very pointed question.
Yes.
Is it working or is it not working?
It is working,
It is
but
working.
it's not working 100%. It is working
nothing
30%.
is 100%.
30%.
And that is what I want to
All
explain.
right. So
30%.
these are actually the teething
But
problems we're talking
30%
about.
is better
the ball is
than
my
the
turn now.
NHIF
It's
we
my
had.
turn.
Okay,
Yeah,
it is
the
Dr.
30% is better than the
I think I can
NHIF.
so
I think we had
quiet.
enough time, sir. Thank you so much. Let me try and butt in so that we can actually also have some time to discuss a bit of an issue.
So
that
can we go to the next topic?
Yes. Are you? We wanted to say something before
No,
I go
no,
to
I want to go to the next topic
Yes,
so
yes.
that I contribute.
Thank you. I wanted to ask, first of all, before we delve deeper on the issue of the Division of Revenue Act that has now been, of course, announced, some eye-popping figure there that is very, very encouraging. Taxpayers are facing 198 billion shillings in penalties for agencies and paid loans. So we're talking about Parastatals here and MDAs as well. And when the bill for mismanagement debt lands on every citizen's door, the real question becomes, who will hold accountable? Will be held accountable and how? And we know this particular report. And I wanted just to ask, when it comes to the issue of governance and accountability, why have the state-owned enterprises continued receiving on-lent loans without proper credit risks assessment despite a history of defaults? Because it is going back to the taxpayer. So they know they'll actually go and borrow, they will not pay, will be slapped with the bills at the end of the day. And this is where I want to ask, why has also you as Parliament failed in oversighting this sort of behavior that has been there for the longest time? 198 billion shillings is an eye-popping figure.
This is what I would say. If you look at our budgets, we normally give what you call one-line item budget for parastatals, the semi-autonomous government institutions. And once you give them, it's their work to go and do the itemization of the figure, the block figure you've given them. What that means is basically they are able to determine how to use that money. But we've said many times that we have more than we require in terms of non-state actors. That is semi-autonomous state agencies. Because there's a lot of duplication of roles. Some are not giving value, giving Kenyans value for money. And as a result of that, what we are saying is because there's a bit of laxity when it comes to their own accountability, then that's how they end up incurring such a huge pending bills or unpaid. And penalties, then penalties come in because they must be penalized when they don't, they don't pay.
Which they aren't penalized.
Yeah, basically because even the auditors, look at the way they audited. Actually, we have a lot of questions, as in the budget committee. And if there's an area we have a lot of questions relating to how money is accounted for, is money given to parastatals. And we have said the way out, if we want to help this country, the way out is they should submit budget like the other departments do. Program budget, which says, I will be given 10 million, and these are my expected outcomes and outputs, so that we can monitor the outcomes and the outputs. This is a situation where you give them a block figure, and then that's why you see some of them, they are still demanding money from the National Treasury, and they have invested in private accounts, billions of shillings, just to continue accumulating more.
Yeah, but the question is, who approves when they're going actually to source for these loans? I'm talking about the loans. Does it also
there is no loan in this country we can be in card
from the
without authority of Treasury.
And the accounting officer.
Yeah. So any loan which has to be borrowed must be authorized by Treasury, either by county governments, either by parastatals. Treasury is only by law allowed to authorize borrowing. That is constitutional. So where you hear they have borrowed.
So legislators have no say in this borrowing?
No, the borrowing, we have a say because we approve the borrowing ceilings. You remember the public?
Okay.
We have a public debt and
so they play around with, that is the wiggle room of the
So the window we give them,
okay.
They play around with that. But they can always go and convince Treasury, we are borrowing for this, but in reality, they don't have a genuine reason for borrowing.
So the question is then, should taxpayers be forced to shoulder the debt burden of, mismanaged projects they did not even directly, approve?
They have no choice because the law is very clear. Repayment of debt is first charged to our consolidated fund.
But surely somebody should be held accountable.
Yeah, accountability. And it's not even parastatals alone. Accountability is missing all over the place. How many times have we discussed with you the issue of commitment fee, where we are paying fees for loans not withdrawn? We are not drawing loans. So we pay, and no more answers. So we are saying we have just a very careless attitude to manage our public resources. And the law is very clear. We need to go against prudent management of public resources. It is in this document, our constitution.
Thank you.
But do we practice it? No.
Let me give you an example. An agency like ATIVET.
Yes.
ATIVET, let's say it has 1,000 or 2,000 students. They decide to buy a bus on credit, financed, and how they pay it is through capitation. Capitation money is supposed to be sent every quarter or every month to the institution. But you find that Treasury does not release the funds required for each student. Let's say it is 22,000 shillings per student. They don't release the funds to the institution for the institution to be able to pay for the facility they have taken from a bank. So interest keeps accumulating. That's an example of one of the situations where institutions are choked with these interests from loans because of lack of systematic operations and efficiency in government. Where Treasury, number one, for me, is the cause of most of these problems. Why? They do not release exchequer in time to all these agencies, when particularly those that are funded by the exchequer. But again, there are these ones that are funded, self-funding. There are those that do, that are commercial. You find that these ones that have what I can call enormous revenue, that still have loans that they are not servicing in time, is because of incompetency. You find the president is appointing his friends, he's appointing his cronies to these agencies. So they don't care what happens. Yeah? They don't care what happens. What they do, they allow it to run down. Their time, they know, I'm here for 3 years, let me do what I can. Let me make as much money as I can. That is another reason that you find these loans are not serviced, because the people appointed. In Kenya, he was talking about the president of, is it Philippines?
Yes.
But I want to talk about Singapore, where it is meritocracy that worked, where if it is a CEO for, let's say, NSSF, you don't look at balancing Rift Valley, that Bomet has gotten a CS, this one has gotten this, then Baringo must get a CEO for a huge parastatal. That is not how you do. You look for people with merit to run that agency. Mm-hmm. So the challenge we have is lack of people with know-how on how to run these agencies that get appointed because they are friends and cronies of those of the system that has been elected. They end up messing up the parastatals, or we call them the agencies in government, or the state corporations. And because of that, we have, number one, wastage, because look at 100 and something billion shillings in interest is not a joke. That is an amount that can do a lot of stuff for Kenyans. I wanted to talk about SHA a little.
Yes.
I sit in the health committee, and I want to tell you today, while they speak boldly about SHA working, SHA does not work. The system in SHA does not work. What has happened is hospitals have been threatened to provide services, or else they'll be removed from the log of hospitals that are supposed to be paid by SHA. He said his constituents, 3. He has 100,000 constituents. He's talking about 3 because he's the one who made phone calls for them to be treated. And that is what is happening.
I did say that.
People have to make phone calls for people to get treated, the big shots. While SHA is a good idea, while it may work in certain circumstances, we have a problem, and sometimes we need to own up. Hospitals, or facilities as we call them, are not being paid. Facilities are struggling to get even equipment and drugs and stuff like that. They're even targeting some facilities in some regions. Like now, there's a facility in Kisii called Nyanchwa Adventist Hospital. It has been struck off the roll. They are being told there's some irregular fraud that was done there with zero investigation, purely because they just want to deal with certain individuals. I'm not saying they are clean. What I'm saying, we need to be serious with how we handle our issues. Why? SHA is a fantastic idea. There are certain things that have been introduced to SHA that were not in NHIF, like the emergency fund, which is a great idea. But is it working? Can you get an accident and get into Nairobi Hospital real quick and get treatment? Is it working? You know,
they're saying it's working when you are inpatient.
Yeah. Now,
maybe for the outpatient, it's not really working.
It is not. And then, access to healthcare has become cumbersome. How? They are saying, if you live around here, your neighbors with AAR, which is a level 5, level 4, level 5 hospital, if you feel sick, you don't walk into AAR. You have to move around, look for a dispensary to refer you to the next level, from level dispensary to level 2 to level 3 to level 4. That is cumbersome. It means it is not accessible. Yeah? They killed what we call Linda Mama. They killed Edu Afia, which used to take care of students in high schools. But they want to paint this thing as such a shiny golden thing that has come out of space to save us from aliens. Yet really, they have messed up what was working. NHIF was working. We had a challenge with approvals and claims management. That is what ought to have been fixed. And then introduce departments in NHIF for what we call emergency healthcare, digital, and all this. Now, the other thing, when I say about lies, the president said people will pay 350 shillings. Didn't he say, even you know? Didn't he say that?
He did.
Are people paying 350 shillings?
I know 3 cases.
Are people paying 350 shillings per month? It
I
doesn't.
know
People pay more.
I know at least 3 cases.
Yeah, people
If
pay
not
more.
more.
So what we are saying is this. while you support government, Honorable Mutunga, that I have a lot of respect for. By the way, on this panel, I think I have the least qualifications in terms of education. I only have a bachelor's degree. He has 4 degrees. He's Dr. Mutunga, Makali Mulu, and Dr. Mutunga here. Mi niko na hiyo moja. Lakini, mi nauliza huyu Mutunga ako, nasikia alipata PhD within the shortest time in the university.
Within the shortest time?
Okay. Yeah. I want to ask you, while you support this government, you are a chairman, you are respectable. Sometimes just step up and tell the president or the CS, this and this and this is not working. Because, look here, when we had the issues with the fertilizer that had sand and waste from donkeys, he was still the chairman.
And Linturi,
yes, he was still the chairman.
Linturi brought him money.
No, I don't know whether he did. I think no. That one maybe has to prove some of this beyond this for us. Because
I need to.
Can he actually
you don't
prove
have
that?
any evidence?
Let him give us evidence.
Yeah.
So
Otherwise,
tell us where did he bring that?
We can't respect anything else.
No, that one I do not want. That time he was still the chairman. But what did they do? What did he do? What did he do?
Okay, let him answer. What did you do?
What did you do?
Let me say what we did. We did go through the process of inquiry. Comprehensive process of inquiry. There is nobody who was mentioned that we had not questioned. And I said in the full glare of the camera. And I said that those individuals that we pointed out as culpable were arrested even before we finished the investigations.
But Linturi came
honestly,
out. Now that
when
he's not
somebody
part of
sits in
government,
a panel and says...
Now that he's not part of government, he's come out and clearly saying that he was prevailed upon.
That's correct.
And there were actually people who, from the upper reaches of government, who were using him as a conduit because
Yes.
he was
Who was prevailed upon?
Linturi himself.
Linturi said.
Now, listen, I am not Linturi. I was not the Minister for Agriculture then. Linturi happens to come from the same ethnic background like, as I do, but we don't belong to the same school of thought. We don't go the same way. Again, I would like Shabir to actually give us evidence
what he
or
presented
anything that
you as a
show
committee then, it really flies in the face of the truth.
What evidence do you want?
Yeah.
When Linturi
if you
himself-
followed, anybody in this country knows that we questioned Linturi not once, not twice, 3 times. And in some of those questionings, so many things happened in answering the questions and in the way things went proceeded on. And we questioned anybody who was involved in any way in order to be able to...
So what report came out of your investigation?
The report basically...
What did it say?
That there is need for certain individuals and institutions like NCPB. We said clearly NCPB should be held culpable because especially NCPB managed the sale of this, is it called diatomite, the product from Karandushi. They used their network to distribute it. And they needed to have known exactly.
NCPB, look here, my brother. NCPB were distributors. We are talking about the people who mixed sand.
We saw it.
But the dealers.
Now,
we saw it
did you ask
dealers?
Did you ask me what the report said?
You don't want to...
Linturi came on television.
Okay.
I've just said part of it.
Publicly and said
Can you finish?
that I was impressed upon to go and to approach the finance, the agricultural committee to drop this thing.
To do what?
To drop it.
To drop it.
No, that I've never had that. Sorry, I've never had. I've been in this country as much as you have, but those are perceptions. And it is wrong to bring perceptions.
But Linturi said it.
So if Linturi said that, I have never had it. And I don't remember a single time that Linturi called me. We can get this evidence. My phone is very clear. No, there are records in Safaricom, or that's the only line I use. Now, let's go to the issues. Now, when we speak here, I said again and I warned, let us be factual.
No, I had not finished. When I just asked you, it was my turn to speak, and I wanted to respond to you about figures and numbers. The issue of exported labor, that I know the numbers. And the embassies have the numbers on people who apply for work visa. You can get that from the embassy. Embassies, either you have a work visa or a tourist visa or a visitor's visa. So we have those figures. So when I say that I know, I know. The G2G are very minute figures. Saudi Arabia is the one that took, I think, the most, 2,000 nurses.
How many?
2,000 nurses. And then Australia, it was not even announced, about 1,000 nurses. So all these other things, a majority of the people who've gone abroad to work have gone out of their own initiative. They pay agents out here, agents get them opportunities, and they go abroad. So when the president said, and you know what, if indeed 400,000 people have been sent out there, where did he get them from? Because that is 1,400 per constituency.
We need to bring it to a close.
Or sub-county.
Yes.
We should be able to...
another topic.
I'm
about to switch off.
Let me just respond to a few issues.
Yes.
Just allow me, please, to respond to a few issues. Now, we can very confidently sit here and talk about meritocracy. It's ideal, and because we are actually not the president, and we are not mandated or expected to do the balancing act. We know we are ethnically inclined. And in this country, you can use meritocracy, but then remember there's an Article 27 of the Constitution which you must pay alliance to. You must use inclusion. It has to be balancing across this is not that country. You know what, since a country has worked from somewhere, we must go back and ask ourselves, how does their constitution enable them to apply certain principles, and does it give us the same space as a country? Now, two things. Number one, you talked about semi-autonomous government agencies there in the past, earlier on, and you asked whether we actually do what is called oversight. I don't want to talk from block figures. I want to talk from reality. We have more than 30 semi-autonomous government agencies in agriculture. The semi-autonomous government agencies all have their strategic plan. They roll out annual work plan in tandem with implementation of the strategic plan. And they use this annual work plan to generate their budget, which means you can know exactly what they're going to do. They also declare how much A&A they are generating, so that now they can request the exchequer to provide them balance. So we are very clear on how to pass the budget. So then, when the ministry is providing their figures, we ask, we are very specific. Give us the sagas and their specific budgets. Itemized budget, and we look at the itemized budget. But then I can excuse Dr. Makali Mulu because they look at the budget and appropriation level, the Committee on Budget and Appropriation, because they look at the block figures. We look at the synthesis, we look at the details. So that is where they come from. Now, if an agency has to borrow, they must convince the accounting officer that it is actually necessary and it is essential to borrow, and the payment procedure and the value for money when it comes to borrowing. And the accounting officer is the one who now does a request to the PS Treasury for authorization. And he has the burden of proof that this is really going to work for Kenyans. And that is how you acquire the proof. It was very right to say that. Now, the other issue is the duplication of roles. Yes, indeed, we have duplication of roles. And there has been effort in this particular government, and none other in the past, to try and reduce the number of parastatals. In agriculture, we have collapsed quite a number. Those that have functions that probably look like they may be implemented by the others, so they are being transferred. But then, even as we look at the duplication of roles, to what extent are we scrutinizing these agencies? In agriculture, I can say we have resisted any expunging of institutions from the Agriculture and Food Authority, which was an amalgamation of about 8 parastatals. We have resisted that. Many attempts have come. These members, not these particular ones, but members of Parliament have basically placed bills before the House to try and get crops out of the Agriculture and Food Authority. And we have resisted with reasons, because we were amalgamating this to try and reduce on the budget issue and a few others. Now, the other issue that the last one, yeah, briefly. Yeah, the other issue is the money that is borrowed and basically, not utilized. Of course, I don't need to revisit that. It's exactly the way the Honorable Makalim Mulu said. Now, the issue of exchequer. When we sit before Kenyans and tell them that Treasury is one that refuses to release exchequer, then we are lying. Because Treasury does not necessarily have the money in store. They don't just have to open and release. Treasury has to go through the process of collecting revenue to be able to now distribute this revenue amongst so many needs. That is the reality. We should not be utopic and try to say that Treasury has refused and therefore things don't happen in time. That's not the correct position. Because there's no money kept somewhere in a government so that you can go and just spend.
All right. I think we don't need now to broach this issue of the 5% share of the road maintenance levy fund.
Can you do that next show?
That's what I'm saying. We don't need to. Yeah, we don't need to broach it. I think we had actually teased out that we will do it. So I'll just give each and every one of you, you know, some few minutes, 30 seconds to get closing remarks.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Yes. Yeah.
So
begin with you.
30 seconds.
Yes. 30 seconds.
Especially with him. Now,
let's begin with you, Shakil Shabir.
Firstly, out of his mouth came the fact that agriculture has how many? 30 or 40 parastatals.
More than 30. Yes, it's true. They are more than 30.
Very powerful. That's 10 seconds gone. The rest, budget. Our budget is cash-based budget. Any budget anywhere in the world, you first say how much money you've got and how much you will spend. Our budgeting is how much will we spend and where are we going to go and get it. Mm-hmm. There's a big difference. Then we've come up now as accrual budgeting. If we do budgeting properly, the only role of Treasury is a cashier. Receives the money and gives it. He has no right to ask you whatever. You've budgeted. This is it. This is the budget. The problem with Treasury, and I know them, they're mandarins in Treasury. They bring from here, take from there, take from there, take from there. So they don't have the money. So this is what I'm saying.
30 seconds
also,
almost over?
30 seconds over. Treasury is one of those very corrupt organizations.
Thank you. Dr. Makali Mulu?
I'd like to take 5 seconds and say, today is my happiest day that the county assemblies of this republic have achieved financial autonomy. Mm-hmm. Full stop.
Full stop. Yes. Dr. Mutunga, your closing remarks?
Thank you very much. Let me say that as a country, we are living in a very difficult time with a lot of challenges, and we can only get out of this situation by listening to each other and talking to each other, not talking at each other, and not wishing each other, ill-wishing each other. We need to wish each other well so that we can be able to resolve the problems or challenges we have. Let me call them challenges because they are all soluble.
Thank you. Thank you.
2 things. One, to you Kenyans, if President William Ruto is taking you through these hard times like this, yet he's seeking a second term, what will he do if he gets a second term on issues to do with taxation, cost of education, cost of health, and all these other things? And think about that. And finally, I would like to encourage young Kenyans and ask them to keep off drugs. Keeping off drugs is easier than getting off drugs. Thank you.
Thank you. Anthony Kibagendi, Member of Parliament, Kitutu Church South, thank you for coming through this morning for that this evening, I should say, for that very cogent discussion we've had. Shakil Shabir, Member of Parliament, Kisumu East, thank you. Dr. Makali Mulu, I really do appreciate also your parents as well, Member of Parliament, Kitui Central, also Dr. John Mutunga, MP Tigania West, thank you for very trenchant and engaging discussion that we've had this evening. I really do appreciate. Next time we'll pick up the tab on the issue of to do with the road levy. Don't be in a tearing glass to deep still, right? And I just wanted to just get the polls as well, if my director may lead me on this, just to tell me. Yes, we got 14%. That it was no. 14% was yes. Yes, 14%. 79% no. And maybe 7%, right? So it seems the parliamentary, the poll on are you as parliamentarians oversighting the executive effectively? All right, so you've got the poll there. I want to thank you so very much for your valid company, as always. You've been watching The Insight, where truth has a new address, and of course, we've actually brought a lot of issues as well. And I want to thank you for staying late with us this evening. May you have a restorative night. Good evening.